The story begins with a once powerful empire, recently defeated in a great war. Fearing its downfall, the king hides his treasure on a massive ship at the loading dock. He knows that if the treasure is lost, the empire will be ruined. Meanwhile, in the middle of the sea, another ship drifts with starving prisoners left to die. Just as they lose hope, a massive ship appears. Its captain, a fearless and intelligent woman, sees their suffering and decides to save them. She orders her crew to rescue the prisoners and bring them aboard. 3 months pass. The rescued prisoners adjust to life on the ship. Then one day, they spot a Japanese ship. Excited, one pirate boasts, "I'm the best swordsman. I'll lead the raid." The captain joins him. Armed with weapons, they board the ship and battle Japanese soldiers. Skilled in combat, they take control, but soon, one of the captain's men rushes in with bad news. There's no treasure or food on board. Disappointed, they interrogate the crew. A trembling child steps forward, revealing they were searching for treasure but got lost at sea, running out of supplies. The captain and the pirate leader exchange a knowing glance. The treasure is now their goal. She orders her crew to seize the map. Once in hand, they leave immediately. Studying the map, the pirate leader declares, "If we find this treasure, we'll be the richest in the world." The captain agrees, determined to claim it. Following the map, they reach a mysterious island covered in dense forests and hills. As they explore, they spot a massive wild bull. Starving, the pirate leader decides to hunt it alone to prove his bravery. But as he enters a hidden tunnel, more bulls charge from behind. One lifts him with its horns and hurls him off a cliff. The others watch in horror, assuming he's dead. But luck is on his side. He grabs a thick tree branch mid-fall. Struggling to climb up, he notices something strange, a gleaming elephant tusk half buried in the ground. Unsure of its significance, he takes it and makes his way back. When he places the tusk before the captain, she gasps. Strange markings on it match those on the treasure map. Smiling, she declares, "Now we know the way." Gathering the crew, she announces, "I'm a captain, and I'm going after the treasure. Whoever wants to join me, follow." The pirate leader, furious, tries to stop his men, but they now trust the captain. Without hesitation, they board a boat and set off. The pirate leader is left alone, watching as his crew sails away. The captain waits all night, but he never shows up. Suddenly, her most loyal crew member rushes in, worried. "Captain, the ivory has been stolen." Furious, she immediately realizes it's the robber leader. Wasting no time, she takes some crew members back to the island and finds him. Without a word, she punches him in the face and shouts, "Where's the ivory? Give it back now." But the robber leader, thinking she came because she cares for him, calmly replies, "I don't have it." He's telling the truth. One of his men secretly stole the ivory and fled to the city to sell it for a high price. Once the captain and her crew learn this, they chase after him. In the city, just as the thief is about to sell the ivory, the captain and the robber leader arrive, surrounding him. With no escape, he is forced to return it. The ivory is back in their hands. Meanwhile, in a grand palace, a powerful king listens as his general whispers, "My lord, I know where the treasure is hidden." The king, instantly intrigued, asks, "How do you know?" "The wife of the man who hid it told me," the general replies. Greedy for the treasure, the king gathers his army and sets out to claim it. Back with the captain and the robbers, they study the ivory and find mysterious engravings. Copying them onto paper, they struggle to understand their meaning. Then the robber leader confidently steps forward. "I know where to go next," he says. The captain nods without question. Their next journey begins. They set sail, unaware of the dangers awaiting them. Once deep into the ocean, the robber leader smirks. "We must go underwater." A hidden river flows beneath the sea. Some crew members grow uneasy, but the captain remains focused. Reaching the river, she orders the crew to abandon the boat and dive in. Without hesitation, she jumps first. One by one, the rest follow. Below, a dark tunnel stretches ahead. They swim through it and soon find themselves in an ancient cave with no visible way forward. The crew starts panicking. Frustrated, one of the captain's men lashes out at the robber leader. But the leader, a skilled fighter, retaliates, slamming him against a large rock. The impact breaks the stone, revealing a hidden path. Smirking, the robber leader says, "I knew the way was behind it." They move forward and soon enter a room filled with silver coins and jewelry. Some crew members cheer, believing they've found the treasure. But the robber leader remains serious. "This isn't the real treasure," he mutters. "It's just a decoy." Everyone stares at him in disbelief. Then he notices an old flag on the ground, marked with a dragon. Studying it, he realizes it points to the actual treasure. Just as he's about to investigate further, a massive explosion shakes the cave. Panic spreads as shadows appear at the cave entrance. Soldiers. They had been waiting for the right moment to strike. Now both sides stand face to face. The race for the treasure is about to begin. Without a word, both charge at each other. The clash of swords echoes through the cave. The general and the robber leader fight fiercely, exchanging heated words. Suddenly, the robber leader ties a heavy chest full of silver to his waist and, without hesitation, jumps into the sea. The weight drags him deeper into the water. He struggles to breathe, but just then, the captain dives in after him. She fights against the pressure, untying the ropes with great difficulty. But now, she herself begins to sink. Surrounded by nothing but water, breathing becomes impossible. Suddenly, the whale appears from the depths, opening its enormous jaws and swallowing them whole. It then grabs the ship's rope in its mouth, nearly capsizing it. But the rope snaps, and the crew believes both captains are dead. Then, boom! A powerful explosion erupts from inside the whale. The next moment, its stomach bursts open, and the captain and the robber leader are hurled back onto their ship. Meanwhile, the general stares at the mysterious dragon emblem on the flag. A smile spreads across his face. He now knows the path to the real treasure. Both sides set their sights on the same goal. But the captain and the robber leader are at a disadvantage. They no longer have the treasure map and don't know the way forward. Just then, their captured thief, the one who had stolen the ivory earlier, smirks. "I know the path to the dragon," he says. The captain and the robber leader glare at him. "It's a deadly place," he continues. "Lightning never stops flashing there. No one returns alive." A deep silence falls over the crew. Were they ready to face such danger? This thief was no ordinary man. A lifelong sailor, a sea robber who had explored nearly every ocean and island. He knew these waters better than anyone. When the crew asks him to show the way, he places a condition. "I'll guide you," he says smugly, "but only if you make me the new captain of this ship." Furious, the current captain clenches her fists. But with no other choice, she is forced to accept. The thief is now captain, and his first order humiliates her. She is sent to the kitchen to cook for the crew. But when they taste the food, their faces turn pale. It's horrible. No one can stomach it. Yet the robber leader praises it. He's the only one who eats it. In truth, he has secretly fallen in love with her, though no one knows. After days of sailing, they finally reach the mysterious island. The atmosphere is eerie. Dark clouds swirl above, and lightning strikes the ground every few minutes. Meanwhile, the general's ship isn't far behind. He had anticipated the constant lightning and prepared by tying large kites around his ship, attracting the strikes and keeping his vessel safe. Both ships push through the storm, reaching the mysterious island. Stepping ashore, they see a towering mountain, its peak shrouded in thick black clouds. Lightning repeatedly strikes the same spot. They all realize the treasure is hidden there. But as they advance, the group splits in two. The former captain and the robber leader go in one direction, while the rest follow the new captain. The robber leader turns to the former captain. "Stay here," he says. "I'll check ahead." Without hesitation, he heads toward the mountain. Meanwhile, tensions rise among the crew. The new captain's bizarre orders exhaust everyone. Frustration boils over. His own men turn against him, ready to kill him. He flees for his life, hiding behind a rock. Just then, a penguin appears. But this was no ordinary penguin. It held a shining piece of gold in its beak. The new captain shouts for his crew, but by the time they arrive, the penguin is gone. No one believes him. They think he's lying. Enraged, they prepare to throw him into the sea when suddenly, the penguin returns. Seeing this, the crew's anger transforms into excitement. They now believe the treasure is truly hidden on this island. Meanwhile, the robber leader reaches the mountain's peak. But when he arrives, he sees the general standing there, waiting. And this time he's not alone. His soldiers surround him. However, due to the relentless lightning strikes, many of the general's men had been killed. As he surveys the mountain, he notices something unusual, a particular spot where lightning has never struck. Suspicious, he orders his soldiers to dig. Soon, they uncover an old chest buried beneath the soil. As the general opens it, his eyes widen in shock. Inside lies a mysterious dragon's mask. Unbeknownst to him, the robber leader had been watching the entire event unfold. But his presence doesn't remain hidden for long. The general's soldiers spot him and immediately attack. Despite being outnumbered, he uses his cunning to snatch the mask from their grasp. The general glares at him furiously, but the robber leader simply smirks. "If you want this mask, the key to the treasure, then you must fight me." The general accepts the challenge, and a fierce duel begins. Meanwhile, on the other side, the former captain is locked in battle, defending her ship from the general's men. Though outnumbered, she refuses to surrender, fighting with unwavering determination. The new captain, however, has a different strategy. He ties a rope around the penguin's leg, and as soon as it leaps into the water, he grabs onto the rope, letting the bird lead him forward. Back on the mountain, the battle between the robber leader and the general reaches its peak. In the heat of combat, the dragon's mask slips from the robber leader's hands, tumbles down the rocky cliffs, and falls straight into the sea, right where the new captain had landed. Without hesitation, he picks up the mask. As he examines it closely, he notices something, a special engraving. Looking around, he realizes that one of the nearby rock formations matches the symbol on the mask. He rushes inside. What he finds leaves him speechless, an ancient ship, untouched for years, filled with treasure. This was the legendary vessel that had vanished long ago. With great effort, he brings the ship to the surface. When his crewmates see it, they erupt in joy. But their celebration is short-lived. Their old ship is beyond repair. Now, they have only one choice: claim this new, treasure-laden ship as their own. Suddenly, chaos erupts from beneath the sea. A terrifying force stirs the ocean as molten lava begins to rise from the depths. A monstrous storm forms above, threatening to swallow everything. The waves grow violent, and their ship is on the verge of sinking. But the captain, displaying incredible courage, takes control, navigating through the storm and saving everyone. Back on the mountain, the final clash between the robber leader and the general reaches its climax. Both are prepared to kill. But then, in a shocking move, the robber leader throws his sword into the air. A bolt of lightning strikes it. The sword ignites, charged with the raw power of the storm, and hurtles toward the general. His story ends here. With the battle won, the robber leader, the former captain, and the rest of their crew board the new ship. They were no longer just pirates. Now, they were the richest robbers the world had ever seen. In the final scene, the robber leader and the former captain exchange a look. A silent story plays out between them. Once fierce rivals, now something more. They smile at each other, and in that moment, their unspoken feelings are clear for all to see. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.